Okay guys, so at this point we're ready to start clay, which is super exciting. You're going to get a slab like this, and with the slab you're going to use a tracer like this to cut a circle. And this is going to be the base of our clay. So you can just use a needle tool, or a toothpick is fine too, to carefully cut this out. If you want, you kind of bring it close to the edge of your slab so you can use the rest of the clay real easily, because we'll be using that throughout class today. I just drew that lightly. Now I'm going to come in here and cut it. So toothpick's good for this, needle tools. So here's some different shapes. These I'll have out at the tables. There's all different sort of ideas on here for shapes. You could look at those for reference. Here's another one, kind of some neat shapes there, like those ones at the top, how they kind of go out round. And you can see at the base there, they come in a little more. So I'm going to just kind of talk about starting to build this up. So you're going to take a little bit of clay, and you're going to build a coil. And you may or may not have done this before. No big deal either way. We're just going to kind of be curious and wonder how, we'll do it in this project. So we're going to roll out a coil. You can go along the table. I wouldn't do it along your fabric because these little strings kind of catch the thickness of a pencil. So that's probably good right there. Then you don't need to score, slip, and smudge, but you can start to bring it. I'm going to bring mine on the outside of this rim and start to build this out. And this is bigger than one ring size, which is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just allow it to pile up on top of itself, and I'm going to bring it out a little ways and press it into place. And I'd say do 2 coils and then stop and smudge it together. Damp enough. If it starts to dry out, use different clay, because the damper clay is a little bit better for this. And I'm going to start where I left off last time and keep going. I want to try to make sure that seams don't line up with one another, so I wouldn't want this to end right here. It's okay because it comes over a little bit. And then now that I've done 2 coils, I'm going to stop and I'm going to smear this into here. And you can dip your popsicle stick in water, which is a nice way to do it too, to kind of get this smooth in here. And you really want to smear every 2 coils, because if you don't, then it's going to be too hard to get your hand in there. So stop and smear. We can smear the outside later. We'll just worry about the inside for now. And I'm supporting the outside of it with my hand as I smear this. Kind of coming around here and carving out the extra clay. I can add any of this extra here. And I'm going to start to bring it out a little bit. Bring it around. Oh, now that's going to line up. I don't like that. I don't want to have my seams in the same place. So I'm going to actually break it off over here so that I have the seams in a different place. I don't want those seams to land on top of each other, because that'll be a weak place in my pot. So I'll make another coil. Kind of what you're doing for the duration of class for this first day is just building up coils, getting a shape going. Pretty close again. Let me see if I can bring this towards the outside a little more. Yeah, that at least sets it off. You know what? I'm gonna just do something totally different. I'm gonna bring this way, because this side's starting to have too many seams and I don't like that. So I'm gonna come over here. And sometimes the coil won't go all the way around, and you can have different size coils. I just took this chunk of clay. It's gonna make a smaller coil, but it'll still work. So I'll come in here and kind of go up and around. That's 2 coils. So I'll stop and smooth again. especially for wrapping time. And at this point, it's probably at a good place to wrap. You can kind of smooth out any of these places if you can hold it carefully. You can smooth out places where you had seams, but we don't have to worry about that right now. We can do that more tomorrow. We're going to end up smoothing this all together on the outside too, but we'll wait because it's still a little fragile. It's still a little wet. So beginning of class even, you're going to get tape. Put it sort of towards the bottom on your bag, actually, like the bottom half of your bag or so, like this. I'm going to scooch this up and put it towards the bottom. A nice flat piece. Make sure you don't have too much clay on your hands, because if you do, the tape won't stick. And then you're going to write your name, Ms. Kelly, and your class code. I'm just going to put CC for class code. Okay, and then when that's finished, you're not gonna, you can see, I'm not gonna put my extra clay in. I'm gonna leave that on the table because we're gonna, you know, as one of our jobs, collect it. But I'm gonna open this up and carefully, with my hand underneath it, place this in the bag. So you may want to open the bag first, so you're not opening it with your clay. So open your bag up, then put this in here. Now, this pot's really fragile, so if I want to get all the air out, I want to seal it so there's no opening so it doesn't dry out. Now, if I were to lift it up like this, oh, you can see it gets all mangled when you do that. You don't want to do that. Now I've like ruined my pot. Don't do that to yours, okay? What you want to do is kind of get the bag all together, and then you want to put your hand kind of underneath the whole pot and carry it like like you're cradling it, and bring it over to where we talk about where it goes.